Please welcome MakeMyMove's Ben Ledo.
First, let me thank Colby, Joshua, and the folks at SOAR for a great conference. Thanks for inviting me to present here today. I'd like to talk to you guys about capturing the economic power of the remote workforce. If you have been present for any of the previous talks, I guess, you probably know, you've seen slides like this, but you know, we're in the middle of a population crisis, and it's really a global population crisis. But this slide just shows sort of here in the United States, we're at flat growth. And it's been happening for a long time. Folks are looking and have, you know, sort of getting their minds wrapped around this. And that's what we do at MakeMyMove. We kind of approach things from a population perspective. Unfortunately for Kentucky and Eastern Kentucky, we're not immune to this future decline in population growth, as you can see here. And when we look at the economic dollars that are spent really around attracting employers to communities, yesterday we had a bunch of great announcements and very exciting about those, but oftentimes our communities are spending an awful lot of money of attracting employers, which is great, and we need to continue to do so. But as you get folks to come and bring their businesses, if you don't have enough people to fill those jobs, and you don't have enough folks to fill them for today's jobs and you're bringing more, sometimes it can exacerbate the problem. So what we're looking at and what we're here to talk about today is really the power of the remote worker. If there was a silver lining in the pandemic, it was the fact that we as a country went from 5 million permanent remote workers to about 65 million in a matter of 4, 5, 6 weeks. And now we're somewhere around 40 million permanent remote workers. These folks are untethered from their desk, untethered from the office space, if you will, and then hence the community where their company resides, where the business is. And 18 million, so just under half of those folks right now are actively looking and they're assessing, is this where I want to be? Is this where I want to grow my life, my family? Is there other places out there that maybe I can take my job anywhere? Are there places that maybe will fit my lifestyle more appropriately? As you drill in, if you ask these folks, hey, if you were to lose your remote capabilities, what would you do? 58% say they would look for another job that provides that capability. When you drill in deeper to the younger generations, 76, 81%, 76 for millennials, 81% for Gen Z, it grows exponentially. Folks, you know, workers now have leverage, they appreciate the flexibility, and they want to keep that. So what's that? There's good news for that, for communities, especially rural communities, to take advantage of that. These remote workers are extremely valuable. When they come to your community, they become an incremental taxpayer. They become an incremental consumer inside that local economy, and they spend more dollars there. They're a net addition to that tax pool. They bring not only themselves and their jobs, they bring a job with them, but they bring their talents and their dreams and their aspirations. And oftentimes they're earning incomes greater than the average income in a community. So don't hold it against us. I'm from Indiana, Hoosier. So we reached out to the Indiana University Public Policy Institute, an economist there, Drew Klasik. We commissioned him to essentially create a model. We wanted to know what is the exact ROI on relocating a remote worker to a community. So in this example, you can see, which is a real life example for Greensburg, Indiana, we relocated a software engineer out of San Francisco, 28 years old, making $150,000, had a wife, brought their household to Greensburg, Indiana. The initial impact in year one is $125,000, of which over $13,000 is tax. The tax contribution. The economic activity that one household creates actually helps create just under one local job, and you can see the net present value at 7 years. Oftentimes we're talking about a very small investment for a community to relocate these folks. That economic model, that ROI, is really conservative. Here are the bank shots. So as we talk about population decline, okay, 70% of the folks, when you relocate them, not only do they bring their jobs, not only did Greensburg tap into essentially San Francisco and bring $150,000 to Greensburg from there, but 70% bring a trailing spouse or a significant other. Oftentimes, these are folks that are working in the traditional setting. So now all of a sudden, this is a captured audience for your community and for your employers to go address and see if they want to be employed in your community. 30% are bringing at least one one school-aged child. So now you're adding, you're increasing your enrollment, you're helping the school funding formula by bringing this job and this remote employee about 30% of the time. And oftentimes these folks, they're picking your community. They're looking for a place where they can get engaged in the community. So they really help with respect to the leadership vacuum in some of communities, because they want to come to a place where they can get involved, where they can get engaged, where they can start to participate and become an active component and part of the thread of a community. So why are communities adopting sort of this remote worker recruiting strategy? It's pretty simple. It's economic development through people. We sit here and we talk about it. The most important element, I think, to a business, a community, a state, a country are the people and the quality of people. And so it's really looking at it from a different perspective. It's a new perspective, obviously, but one that you look at it and you start to approach folks and you look at the individual as an economic entity unto themselves. These folks, average wages 2.5 to 3 times more than the manufacturing jobs oftentimes we're bringing, especially here in the Midwest. It's a lower investment and it's an almost immediate return if you think about this. Oftentimes the investments entail a moving stipend, helping someone relocate, and then having the community come up with soft incentives where you can get really creative. But oftentimes the hard incentive that the community pays is just a moving stipend. It's not a 10-year tax abatement. It's not a bunch of grants and other things. And that return is immediate. You see the people here, they buy a home, they go out to dinner, they start spending their dollars, their children get enrolled in the class, right? So that return is immediate. And also you can be targeted and precise. If a community wants to focus on families with young children, if you want to focus on a certain sector, maybe it's software engineers, maybe it's cybersecurity specialists, whatever it may be, you can be targeted and precise with respect to how you recruit these folks and who you start to extend invitations to. And the best part about it and why I'm here and excited about it is because really this is an opportunity, I think, for rural America, and we're seeing an awful lot of success here to get in the game. Oftentimes, especially when you think about mega deals and mega sites and those sort of things, it's really difficult to think of how a community could be able to attract some folks. But you know, if you take 5 or 6 Amazon software engineers and relocate them into your community, and 5 or 6, Meta, Facebook or something, software engineers, and now all of a sudden you're starting to build where you have this little ecosystem where maybe you wouldn't be able to land those businesses in your community, but you can surely pull some of their resources and some of their folks into your community. And it also addresses, obviously, population decline by having those extra folks that they bring to the table. So, how to be successful and how to run this? First and foremost, know your audience. I always say fish for the fish you can catch, right? So think about your community, think about what are the assets, what makes your community special, and the folks that are looking for that. We're not trying to boil the ocean. There's 19 million folks that are looking for it. Just find the ones that are looking for a place that fits your community. And then create a compelling pitch. We all want to be desired. We all want to be asked for. So have a compelling pitch and then have a process so that when you get them there, the easiest part is to get them there. But when you get them there, you want to welcome them and get them involved and get them placed in your community and become a participant. So at MakeMyMove, what we do is we help communities tell their story. We give you a platform to engage that captured audience, those remote workers that are actively looking for something, and then we help you bring and recruit those folks and hopefully make them your new citizens, your new neighbors, and start participating into the local economy. There's 1 million users coming to the site. There's 70,000 that have signed up and actually applied to move, and we're working with 162 communities. And so I appreciate SOAR for what they're doing. We think this is an exciting time, especially for rural communities, to take advantage of the remote worker phenomenon. And if you have any questions, I'll be out here happy to answer anything. But thank you all and have a safe trip back home tonight.